You ever been in a situation where you had to walk away from something, not because it was bad, but because peace mattered more? What if choosing peace meant letting someone else take the better deal? That's where we find Abram today. And trust me, things are about to get real. Welcome back to Daily Bible Devotional, where we walk through the Bible, one story at a time. Hey friend, I'm so glad you're here. Whether you've been following along since Genesis 1, or this is your first time joining us, welcome to our Bible storytelling series. We do this every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for the Old Testament. And every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, we dive into the New Testament. Today we're digging into Genesis 13 and 14. The story is picking up fast now. Abram and Lot are about to part ways. There's war, there's a mysterious king named Melchizedek, and hidden inside all of it, a daily devotional that hits right at the heart of what it means to live with spiritual maturity. Let's step into it. Previously, Abram stepped into the unknown by faith, and now things get complicated. Last time we saw Abram trust God and leave everything familiar behind. But trusting God doesn't mean the road will be easy. Now he's back in Canaan after his time in Egypt, and a new kind of tension begins. This time, not with foreign rulers, but within his own family. In Genesis 13, Abram and his nephew Lot are both doing well, really well. They've become so wealthy that the land can't hold both of them. Their flocks, herds, tents, and servants are overflowing. But more stuff can mean more stress. Their herdsmen start quarreling. There's not enough space, not enough grassland, not enough water for everyone. The situation grows tense. Abram doesn't let it escalate. He suggests they separate peacefully. He says to Lot, "Let's not have any quarreling between you and me. Is not the whole land before you? Let's part company. If you go to the left, I'll go to the right." Lot looks up and sees the Jordan Valley. It's lush green and looks like the garden of the Lord, like the land of Egypt. He chooses that for himself and moves toward the east, settling near the city of Sodom. After Lot departs, God speaks again to Abram. He tells him to look around in every direction, north, south, east, and west. God promises all the land to Abram and his descendants forever. Abram moves his tents and settles near the great trees of Mamre at Hebron, where he builds an altar to the Lord. Then in Genesis 14, the story shifts to a wider stage. A war breaks out. 4 powerful kings from the east join forces and march against 5 kings of the cities in the Jordan Valley. These 5 had been serving one of the eastern kings, but they rebelled after 12 years. So the 4 kings come down, sweeping through the land, defeating everyone in their path. Eventually, the 5 kings of Sodom, Gomorrah, and their allies go out to fight in the valley of Siddim. But it's a disaster. The eastern kings overpower them. Some of the valley is filled with tar pits, and in the chaos, some of the local kings fall into them, while others flee to the hills. The victors loot the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah and take Lot with them, since he had been living in Sodom by then. One man escapes and runs to tell Abram what's happened. When Abram hears that his nephew has been captured, he gathers 318 trained men born in his household and sets out in pursuit. He chases the enemy all the way to Dan in the north. At night, he divides his forces and attacks, defeats them, and chases them as far as Hobah, north of Damascus. Abram recovers everything, the people, the goods, Lot, and all his possessions, and brings them back. On his return, 2 kings come out to meet him. The king of Sodom and, mysteriously, a figure named Melchizedek, king of Salem. Melchizedek is not just a king, but also a priest of God Most High. He brings out bread and wine and blesses Abram. Blessed be Abram by God Most High, creator of heaven and earth, and blessed be God Most High, who delivered your enemies into your hand. Abram gives him a tenth of everything. Then the king of Sodom offers Abram the rest of the recovered goods. But Abram refuses. He says, I have raised my hand to the Lord, God Most High, that I will accept nothing belonging to you, so that you will never be able to say, I made Abram rich. That's where Genesis 14 ends. Abram victorious, Lot rescued, and a mysterious priest king standing in the middle of it all, blessing the man chosen by God. So what stands out in these chapters? Let's break down a few key moments that matter. Genesis 13:8-9 is gold. Let there be no strife between you and me, for we are brethren. Is not the whole land before you? Separate yourself from me. If you take the left, I'll go to the right. That's Abram choosing peace over power. That's spiritual growth in action. Lot looks around and picks the lush, green land near Sodom. On the outside, it looks like a great deal. But Sodom, yeah, not exactly a holy neighborhood. Lot chooses with his eyes. Abram chooses with his heart. Then in 14:14, something powerful happens. When Abram heard that his relative had been taken captive, he led out his trained men and pursued them. Abram goes full warrior mode, not because he wants glory, but because he cares. He rescues Lot. And after the victory, he doesn't keep the riches, he tithes. He honors a mysterious king named Melchizedek, who brings out bread and wine and blesses Abram in the name of God Most High. Melchizedek's appearance is one of the most intriguing parts of ancient wisdom. He's both king and priest, a rare combo, and Hebrews later connects him to Jesus. This moment isn't just about war and rescue. It's a glimpse into deeper spiritual alchemy. Abram is learning what it means to live by faith, to act with courage, and to surrender control. And that brings us to some lessons that feel incredibly relevant today. What does all this ancient action have to do with your life today? A lot more than you think. Ever felt like someone got the better deal? Like they got ahead because they grabbed the spotlight and you stayed in the background? Abram's story shows us something countercultural. Sometimes the better choice is to let go and trust the process. Lot looked around and saw the whole plain of the Jordan, 13:10. He saw what looked good, but not everything that looks good is good for your soul. In life, school, relationships, career, we're often Lot. We chase what glitters. But spiritual awakening happens when we learn to be Abram, to trust that what God has for us is better than what we can grab for ourselves. And then there's the part about stepping in when someone needs you. Abram didn't say, Lot made his bed, let him lie in it. He rallied his crew and rescued him. That's inner strength. That's grace. And when Melchizedek shows up with bread and wine, that's a preview. It's the kind of grace Jesus would embody later in the New Testament. A daily Jesus devotional moment hidden right here in the Old Testament. The king priest blessing the faithful with nourishment and truth. So how can we live this out? Let's make it real for your world today. Next time you're in a conflict, big or small, ask yourself, am I choosing peace or proving a point? Because peace is powerful. Blessed are the peacemakers, Jesus said in Matthew 5:9. And Abram lived it out before that verse was ever written. And if someone close to you makes a bad choice, and life knocks them down? Be Abram, show up, help, not because they earned it, but because love covers. One more thing, tithing. Abram didn't hoard the loot. He gave it back to God through Melchizedek. That wasn't just about money. That was about recognizing who the real source of victory is. So next time you win something, get promoted, land an internship, crush an exam, pause, say thank you, give something back. Maybe not gold or silver, but time, service, prayer. That's how we stay grounded. That's how we faith a life. And before we wrap up, something happened with Melchizedek that echoes through all of Scripture. His blessing wasn't just for Abram, it points forward to the bread and the wine, to Jesus, the ultimate king and priest. Hebrews 7 calls Jesus a priest forever, in the order of Melchizedek. That's not a throwaway line. That's deep theology woven through ancient story. So next time you hear about communion, or you feel like you're in a battle, you can remember, Jesus didn't just fight for you, He feeds you, He blesses you, and He still shows up in the middle of chaos with bread, wine, and peace. Thanks for hanging out today. Next time, Abram faces a covenant and a promise that changes everything. So don't miss it. We're going to see God's promise made visible, a covenant sealed, and a vision that links heaven and earth. Be sure to join us every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for more insights into the Old Testament. And don't forget, our New Testament series airs every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. This is the kind of spiritual growth that changes how you see the world. Stick with it. Keep walking.